Welcome to Talks on God with my friend David.
Yeah, by popular demand, we're back.
By popular demand.
But mom asked for us to do another one.
Yeah, my mom did. My mom didn't request it. Maybe your mom.
No, she's dead. So
Oh,
yeah,
well, there goes
I'm
our
making
audience.
I'm making that up.
Maybe she would have.
Okay. No, she
So,
wouldn't. No, she wouldn't.
no. Uh, well, I get stuck all the time on being uh like purpose in life. Like what am I doing here as a human?
Yeah.
And I don't know if people really care about that, but I get all wound up on it and then I'm missing my opportunities to grow and you know I want to save the world, maybe that's my purpose and then like oh crap, no one needs to be saved. What am I going to do now? And this whole
You're messed up, man.
I I know I'm going to try to be a good dad. And then I end up yelling at my kids and so I have some failures on some fronts. But we I like your suggestion on basically difficult people. I already forgot what you said, but it was something like difficult people
You
how
and everybody else. That's why we
just
record it so you can keep listening to it because it's going to go right out in one ear and out the other.
oh absolutely.
Yeah.
But something effective this the opportunity of working with difficult people and how valuable that is and I know for me I remind myself every day but I forget almost immediately that the difficult things in life, it's my opportunity to forgive all these concepts that makes it difficult. No one's inherently difficult. No situation is inherently difficult. It's my concepts and my programming that give me the experience of it, them being difficult or me being difficult or it being difficult. And I have the opportunity to let that stuff go. It's almost like the only one hurting me is me kind of thing.
Okay.
So anyway, can you talk on that
Yeah.
or
So
whatever you want?
So I think what one of the reasons why we suffer so much in this life is that we got everything backwards. You know, if you even believe in God, anytime things difficult to come up, most of the time we pray that He takes it away. We want just nice, easy. We don't want to have to suffer. We don't have to want to work. We wanted to please God take away this difficulty. Well, so I think what's really valuable is the analogy of working out in the gym. So for those that work out, they'll understand. For those that don't work out, you go to a gym, got a bunch of equipment, right? And let's just say they got weights and bars, right? So let's just say you and I go to the gym and you go get on the bench press and you put it on an empty bar and you lift it 10 times. You go, look at that, David. I can lift that bar 10 times. And I go, let's put some weight on it, dude. Anyone can lift an empty bar 10 times. And, let's just say you didn't realize it's a gym. You just thought just moving that bar a little bit would impress me. And I go, dude, we got to put some weight on because it's when you actually have to struggle against the weight that you get stronger. That's the purpose of coming to the gym, right? So I mean, but people go to the gym, they understand that you're not just there to have the easiest workout, you're there to get stronger. And you do that by challenging yourself with the exercise, right? Let's just let's just say you're able to lift the bar 10 times. Okay, great. Let's put 5 pounds on each side. Now show me how many times you can lift it. And after we do that for a few years, maybe you can bench press, 300 pounds. And that's the reason we go to the gym is to get stronger, right? So if you didn't understand that and you're on the bench and you're lifting that empty bar 10 times and I put 10 pounds on each side, you go, David, why are you being so mean to me? That's really harder. Why are you making my life so hard? And I'd have to sit down and explain to you that's how you get stronger. It's like, oh, okay, all right. So now it's no, you're not just being mean to me. It's like, okay, we're working out together. We're helping each other get stronger. You put more weights for me, encourage me to lift it, right? I put a little more weights for you, encourage you to lift it. And let's just say you're shooting for 5 reps and you only get 3, but you tried your hardest. It's like, good job. Yeah, we pump each other up. Well, spiritual practices are the same thing, but we don't look at it that way. We look at it, we want the empty bar because you put weight on and it's now kind of hard and painful, right? So that's once you understand that about spiritual practices, then you've got a much clearer understanding of what type of spiritual practices will make you the most gains, right? So I've come to the conclusion, this is my latest thing, that I think the real foundation for all spiritual practices is to see God in everything, in every situation, and feel that love to whatever degree you can towards people, place, things, events. As well, let's start as people. If you go to the foundational highest truth is everything is a piece of God. Everything is a part of the creator, right? So if your job is to see the creator in all things and then feel some love towards that person, now we have the workout analogy. Okay, some people are very easy to love. Right, everybody knows that. There's some people who just draws your love from you. I mean, it's not even an effort. You can't help but love them, right? And some
Mm.
people a little harder to love. Some people are not lovable at all, and some people you can't help but despise them. So if we take the gym analogy, the people are easy to love. That's the empty bar, big freaking deal, right? So to paraphrase Jesus, just brutally paraphrasing Jesus, he'd said, "I'm not at all impressed if you love people that love you, big deal. Even the scribes and the Pharisees do that." He goes, "I'm asking you to love those that hate you and despitefully use you or trying to harm you." Right? So once again, he's saying, you give me 10 reps on an empty bar, so what? Let's put a little weight on it. Let's put about 200 pounds on it. Give me one. Give me one rep. Right? So now all of a sudden, it casts a different light on your human experience. So let's just say, spiritually speaking, we're living in the gym. And some days we'll have a nice, easy workout, not really pushing too hard, but some days your workout partner is going to load that bar, man, and give me a 1 rep max, meaning let's see if you can give me 1 rep out of this heavy weight. You've never lifted that before. You've lifted close, but now we're up 10 pounds than your best you ever did before. Come on, psych up, give me one. And if you get one, yay. If you try your best and fail, it's like, did your best, we'll get it next time. So I think to a great extent, that is a very important way to look at spiritual practices. Okay, so you got some easy spiritual practices. Maybe you skip ice cream, you know, on Sunday nights, right? But as far as the core of all spiritual practices, in my understanding, is to see God in everyone and everything and love them to the best of your ability. Now, love in the English word, there's about 16 different emotional states that we call love. The love I'm talking about is divine love. Divine love is that intent from your heart that may this, put it this way, ancient Indian prayer, may all the beings in all the worlds be happy. That's like the basis. That's divine love. If divine love could speak, it would say, may all the beings in all the worlds be happy. But I interpret it further. By happy, I don't mean you're happy you just got a brand new Mercedes. By happy in my heart and mind means may you begin to awaken to your true nature. In other words, may you begin to find your way home, right? Begin to wake up to the fact that you are a piece of God and start to operate from that core within you. To me, that's true happiness. right? So may all the beings in all the worlds find their way home. So it's an intent. It's an intent that radiates from the heart. So let's just say a parent, your little 3-year-old's sleeping at night, and you're getting ready to go to bed, but you just go and open the door and check on them, see their little angel face, right? Your heart can't help but radiate that you want them to have a good life. You want them to have a good life with little suffering as possible, and want them to grow up to be a good person and have a fulfilling life and a good family and all that type of thing. It just radiates from your heart. Okay. So then now there's the whole range of people that you'll deal with in your everyday life, from people that are very lovable to people that are easily likable, people that aren't really likable to people that you just can't stand to look at them. They're just, and then of course we get exposed on the news to all kinds of leaders of all kinds of politics and things that some you just want to reach through the TV and choke them, right? So that's it. If you then stop and remember this is all God, then you make some effort to love that person. Now, how are you going to do it? What my teacher had said is one of the easiest methods is make everything yours, right? So I treat patients all day. Same thing. Some are very lovable, some are very likable, some aren't likable, and some it's just like it's rough, right? But if you treat them as yours, this cranky old man, I just look at him. It's like my dad. My dad was a cranky old guy, and then that softens my heart. It's like, okay, I get it, right? So, or maybe you have somebody come in more your age and reminds you of your idiot brother that really has got a good heart, but he's just annoying as hell. So you find some way, make them yours. That's one way, right? Your dad, your mom, your brother, your sister, your friend, your stupid friend who's got a good heart and you love him anyway, right? And then I found there's those that are beyond me seeing anything good. So God gave me a little trick a few months ago. And basically, it boils down to this. And I'll ask you, have you ever watched the James Bond movie?
I have.
I'm asking you, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Imagine the James Bond movies with no bad guys in it.
Mm-hmm. Boring.
Oh, James, how are you today? Oh, fine, Money Penny. How's your day? Good, good, good. Yeah, anything planned? Well, I'm seeing my folks this weekend. Okay, good. All right, well, we'll see you tomorrow. You'd never go see a James Bond movie again, right? It's the villains that set the conflict that makes the movie exciting,
Mm.
right? Okay. So, in a very real way, in this classroom God has set up for us, in order to learn the lessons we need to learn, there's got to be some villains,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's the villains are like the heavyweights in the gym, right? It's not a 5-pound weight, it's not a 10-pound weight, it's a 45-pound plate, right? So when God loads those plates on your bar for you to lift, rather than trying to find some good in them that you can feel some love towards them, how about if you just appreciate the fact they're playing the bad guy role really, really well? Just like in the Bond movie, when you have an actor that really plays a bad guy, it's like, whoa, man, that was a good performance, and it made the movie, right? So in this life, in this play of life, God calls on certain souls to play the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
So you may not be able to see in your mind God within them, even though that's still an aspect of God, but you can at least appreciate the fact that they're playing the bad guy really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
So at least you can have some appreciation for them without having to push all that away to find something that you call good, right? You can look at the role they're playing, the bad guy role they're playing, and go, wow, you're doing a good job. Because in a way, you could almost say God saying, okay, you want to play that role? You want to play that role for me? No. It's like the actors that don't want to play bad guys because they want their audience to love them. Some actors, they like playing the good guy. They want to be loved. They don't want to play the bad guy. Then you have some
Mm,
really good actors. They love to play the bad. Thank God you got actors that are willing to play really good bad guys, or the movie would be unwatchable.
mm.
So it's the same in this world. In this world of duality, evil, for those of us on the right hand path, call evil stimulates our potential spiritual growth. It's
Catalyst.
like me loading a 45-pound plate on. You go, dude, I don't know if I can lift that. I go, come on, let's try one rep. One rep. Come on. So it's the same thing with difficult people. Try to find some way to feel some love for them. So what you're doing is you're building your love muscle, for lack of a better term, building your ability to love that which is not normally lovable to you, with the understanding that it's all part of God. And I think really the highest liberation, I say when God looks, what does God see? All God sees is God. I don't think God sees anything but God,
Mm,
because God being perfect, he sees the absolute truth. And the truth is there is nothing but God. So I think the further you drift away from that, the more judgments you have about everyone and everything, the further you are from awakening to who you truly are.
mm.
So then that's it. Then that's it. Yogananda, how much time do we have left? I don't see the timer on this thing.
Uh, I don't know.
All right. So Paramahansa Yogananda, Self-Realization Fellowship, he had a story of there was this one great saint who lived in this town, and everybody pretty much loved him because that reflects back. But there was one SOB man that just was, everybody hated his guts because he's just abusive. And he would every day make sure he was abusive towards the saint, calling him all kinds of things. And this went on for years. And one day the SOB died. And so he's having a funeral. Nobody's there but the saint. The saint's the only one there, and he's weeping uncontrollably. So some of the people were walking by. They go, "What? Why are you crying for this guy? He treated you terribly." He goes, "No, he was my greatest friend and helped me make more spiritual growth than anyone ever did." So basically, when everybody's showering with love and affection, it's like, come on, dudes, I need some weights to lift. And this guy would come and put two 45-pound plates on his bar every day for him. And he, understanding the principle of spiritual growth, was so grateful for at least somebody to give him some catalyst to practice loving and forgiving. So
Yeah.
now that flips the whole thing on its head, right? Flips the whole thing on. A lot of times, then, what you consider your greatest enemy actually is the greatest gift God has given you. And as my teacher would say, he goes, "Don't hate me when I come to you in the form of an enemy." He goes, "I'm paying a very, very high price to bring you that catalyst."
Mm.
Mm.
And we never know also uh just how it's orchestrated. There could be lifetimes and um worlds and so much going into it culminating to you being in the situation that's driving
Yeah,
you nuts and giving
yeah,
you that
yeah.
perfect
And,
opportunity.
and sometimes it's a pre-life agreement with other souls. It's like, okay, so here's where I need to grow, and maybe two of your best friends go, "I've got a great idea. We're going to be born as your boys, and we're not going to be listen to anything you say. We're driving." They go, "That's perfect opportunity for me to grow. Thank you. You're willing to do that? Yeah, it'd be fun. Come on, let's do it."
Right.
Right. So I mean, you never know. You never know. Uh, you never know what's gone into gone
Yeah.
into the situation of our life. But here's what you can be sure of: it's perfect. It's perfect, and it's everything that comes in your life is from God for your highest good. The
Mm,
biggest mistake is we say when it's pleasant, we call that good karma. When it's unpleasant, we call it bad karma. When in reality, your most pleasant karma sometimes can get you in the most trouble, and your least pleasant karma gives you the pleasant karma gives you the greatest opportunity for growth. So I'm
mm,
saying we get in trouble on this planet because we got everything 180 degrees out of sync. What we
mm,
call what we prefer many times is just not really good for us, or we won't grow. And what a lot of times we pray for God to take away is probably your greatest opportunity to grow. I had discussed with you a person in my life who is very, very hard for me to love, but that's been giving me the opportunity to practice that. And one of the things for me that's really helped a lot is when I say the Gayatri, when I think all of this is God and I'm grateful for it, I throw his face in with my grandchild and people that I love and things that I'm grateful for. I throw in the difficult things too. And it's almost like then it kind of blends and it's easier for me to feel love for him, to realize that this too is also a gift. But this is the weight on the bar that we all say, take the weight off. We don't want to have to struggle so hard on the lift. And it's been very helpful for me.
mm. Well, that's good. Well, what's a good in general? What do we do with that? We
So
look for those triggers of when we have a negative feeling, and that's
just understand that when you have difficult people in your life, it's actually a gift, and use that that time with them or being exposed to them to try to feel some love for them, divine love, by practicing seeing them as an aspect of God that apparently you needed in your life or it wouldn't be there. So God is giving you, God's loading some weight on the bar. And he goes, don't be a sissy. This isn't that bad. Just give me a couple reps. Every day, just give me a few reps.
so I got a clarification question then on
Yeah.
like how much do you push into that? Because like I have like my mom drives me nuts, for example. And there I have my judgments about her in my life,
Yep.
and then my judgments go back for my whole life since I was a little kid.
Yep.
And and so but then I'll say, well, I'm not going to participate with her in the way that she wants to participate because she doesn't care about me or anybody in my life. She just cares about, what her little gains that she can get.
Yep.
And so then I judge, judge, judge. And then I'm like, okay, well, this is horrible. She's my mom. Then I'm judging myself, like I'm horrible. I'm horrible. And so then I end up just kind of not engaging with her and waiting for her to engage with me, which offends me because like she'll just want what she wants, doesn't really care about me,
Sure.
my judgment. Uh, so I could though, and then I deal with it, right? What's the most loving way that I can engage right now, even though she's totally triggering me, like she's my teacher in
Sure.
a way.
Yep.
But there's an extent of I'm not going to pursue her at all because I don't really want a relationship with her, to be honest,
Yep.
except for satiating my own guilt, right?
Yep. Yep.
Like how much do you push in, or is it necessary to push in and kind of like push
No,
into
so
those difficult relationships?
I think it's always good to try to get quiet as you can and just, Christians have a really good phrase, what would Jesus do? And what that does is that turns you to your to divinity. It turns you to your heart, and you're basically asking, what would God, what is pleasing to God in this situation? And that then step out of the human thing where, well, they did this for me or didn't do that for me, and just weighing it out, right? What's Forget all that. What is God asking you to do? So within that framework, it's like if we go to the gym and you've been working on about a 200-pound bench press, and you can get a couple. Well, what would be the point of me loading on 300 pounds? That's just stupid. You can't lift it. It's just going to crush you. Might hurt you. So you ask, what would God want me to do? But also within that framework, don't push it beyond where you can at least be compassionate. right?
Mm.
So if you know you can spend about 10 minutes with your mom and feel some love for her and some compassion, but after about an hour, you're ready to choke her, then leave it about 10 minutes. Oh, mom, I got to go, right? So then next time it's like, I think I can do 12 minutes, right? It's like the way you did 200. All right, let's do 205. We don't jump 200 to 300 pounds. It's just not, it's stupid, right? So you have the intent to love her more, but just see what you're capable of, and don't so powerfully overextend yourself. You just like the 300 pounds just drop on your neck and crush you, right? That's stupid. So if you feel like God wants you to be more loving towards your mom, then just slowly build up what you can get away with. So finally, if you keep doing that, you might find you can spend a whole day with her, and you can still love her and feel compassion for her, right? But
Mm.
just be realistic about it. If first 5 minutes you feel a little bit of love for her, and at the end of 5 minutes you're starting to lose that compassion. By the end of an hour, you hate her guts. So now you spent 50 minutes hating her. That's not pleasing to God. Right? Or if all you could do is just do a phone call once a month and just make it good, where you actually feel some compassion for it and some love, then okay, slowly build it up. Don't just jump in and spend all day with her if you know by the end of the day you're ready to choke her. That's not pleasing to God. And I first kind of experienced that years ago when I would have arguments with a fundamentalist Christian friend of mine about love being the most important thing, but I'm ready to punch him in the face after about 5 minutes, and the argument of how important love was. So I realized, well, that's stupid. You're
Right.
you're talking about how important love is, and yet you have no love for him after about 5 minutes. You're ready to punch him. So it's like, so it's like just think in terms of going to the gym. You don't jump from 200 to 300 pounds. You'll just get hurt, right? So maybe it might be somebody difficult at work that you just can't stand them. Just start with maybe, hey, how you doing today? Good to see you. I hope you had a good weekend. And then walk away, right? And then just slowly try to build that up. And before you know it, you might be shocked. They might end up really liking you and just think you're their best buddy. And you just realize, my God, he's got no friends at all. And then you feel more compassion, which brings out more love, right? So it's just think in terms of going to the gym. Don't overload the bar when you know you're just going to fail. What's the point of that? There's no point to that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you feel like God is asking you to be more patient and loving with your mom, then just work on it, but work on it a little bit at a time, where you can succeed, at it, right? Why put so much on the bar? You fail. You end up, you walk out, you came over, you wanted to express more love to your mom, feel it
Yeah.
in your heart at least. And you just, once again, you just walk out muttering and how you're never going to do that again. And it's just annoying.
Right.
Yeah. Right. So that's how you approach it.
That's good stuff. Well,
Yeah.
I think we can always, I mean, I think that this, at least for me, this is definitely a, a big purpose, maybe the purpose, right? Because
Yeah.
our brothers are
Yeah.
and sisters that other humans are, they just
Yes.
reveal all of these obstacles that I have, my judgments, my predispositions of separation, and how you're bad and how you're the enemy and all
Yeah.
these things
Sure.
that really
Well, I think that's,
cause me to suffer.
it's like liberation, Eastern concept of being completely free. What are you being liberated from? You're being liberated from all your misconceptions and your judgments.
Hmm.
I think the only true judgment there is this too is God, and perfect in its own way.
Hmm.
This too is God, because when you say that this too is God, it automatically brings some love from the heart. So I
Hmm.
think that's true liberation. True liberation is when you can see God as everything and in everything, and it's all perfect in its own way, right? Which gets into the discussion then of immortality, of all that, but that will, if I go down that road, it's going to take another hour. But The only judge, Jesus said, judge not lest you be judged by that very same measure, right? So I flipped that coin over. I said, judge everything, but judge everything as worthy of God's love. When Jesus said, judge not, I think what he's saying is when we judge this, this is not worthy of God's love, right? And we don't say it that way, but we think what a despicable person or a piece of crap or whatever. We're just basically saying not worthy of God's love, therefore not worthy of my love.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So to flip it on its head is judge everything worthy of God's love, everyone worthy of God's love.
Mm-hmm.
And as you do that, that begins to clear your own vision. And Jesus said, blessed are the pure of heart, they shall see God. And I think by judging everything worthy of God's love, you're purifying your heart. And as you purify your heart, you begin to see God more and more in people and more in things and his creation and his situation. So the blessed are the pure of heart, they shall see God. When you begin to purify your heart, you begin to see God everywhere, because in truth, God is everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And when we're so heavily judging, not worthy of God's love, we can only see God in the most beautiful of the most beautiful. When the truth is God's in everything. And
Right.
when you can see God everywhere, it draws the love from your heart on a continual basis, which is like being in heaven.
Mm-hmm.
And then there'll be those, that's perfection. That's when you really got it down at Jesus level, right? But the more you practice it, it gets a smaller and smaller and smaller portion of reality that you can't love. Therefore, you start to feel and see God more and more and more. When you finally get to the point where there's nothing you can't perceive God in and feel some love for, then
Mm-hmm.
that's like being in heaven.
That's good stuff, man.
Yeah, buddy, work on it.
Well, I
Or
know.
I got to work on it too. But I mean, that it's like everybody loves me because I'm so lovable. But there's that one guy that hates my guts, hates my guts. So I mean, that's actually a huge blessing,
Yeah.
because as I can start to feel more and more love for him, then it just ups my love for everybody else, which then reflects back to me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, so that's how it works.
I can try to start treating you a lot worse if you'd like.
Yeah, that would be fun. That would be fun. But I mean, but I mean, that's it. You begin to see what normally you look at as something you want to push out of your life. You begin to realize it's actually a biggest blessing. It's like, where's those 45-pound weights, man? Let's see what I can lift today.
Yeah, it's good, man. Well, and the great thing about it is all of our lessons are being drawn to us. Like you don't have to go
No,
sit in a
that's
cave and you don't have to go
no,
find a teacher. They're all being drawn to
that's
us. And
it, man. Once you
all we got
realize
to
that,
do
but
is
many
bless
times we
them,
don't want
forgive
the
them.
lessons that God is giving us. We want an easier lesson. So we push away our family and difficult people, and we just like to talk to strangers that will just shower us with love. Yeah, that's way easier.
Right.
But the ones that God puts in your life, that's exactly what you need.
Right. Well, I think that's it. We're gonna run out of time here. I really appreciate this. It's been very helpful.
All right, brother.